What's up guys, Mr. Scanlon here, and in this video we're actually going to be making a pretty cool app. I was going to have you guys do something that was like actually useful. Over here I have a link to, if you guys want to like copy this down and try it out for yourself, put it in the browser. It's a link to an API for a stock exchange, so like you could like basically get like real world stock data using something called an API, which is an application programming interface, which you guys learned about before. But it's not working on this website because, like, I don't know, it's a hassle basically. I don't want to like get into it, but basically it won't work on Play Ionic, so we're not going to do the stock one. But we are going to do something else, which is pretty cool, and I think some of you like nerdier students are going to get a kick out of it. I think it's pretty neat. So, hopefully you guys will enjoy this. So, what we're going to do is the first thing I want to do is get rid of this button because, I never want the button on screen. And then I'm going to replace that with a header. And I'm going to go with, this red header. And you guys will see why in a second. So I'm going to replace this bar stable with the header, or the red header code. All right, so we got a red awesome app thing, and then I'm actually going to go to, I just want to see, they might not have a great Ionicon, but they might too. So hold on, let me just search through here real quick. You guys can jump on here and try and find something that's kind of neat too. I don't know if they're going to have it. This is kind of a spoiler, but yeah. So basically, we're going to be making a Pokemon app. Yeah. Pokemon. Yeah, that's right. The reason why is because I was trying to think of an API that you guys could use. So an API, like I said, application programming interface, big term for something that basically just means an app that doesn't just exist right here. It's something that can go out to the internet and get something back. And we're going to use this thing called Ajax to do it. And I actually have a diagram for you guys. So what Ajax does is you guys have basically just programmed HTML so far, a little bit of JavaScript, but you guys are going to use your HTML and your JavaScript to call an Ajax routine or function. And that Ajax has a series of processes which is going to go out into the internet using a data request to some server. In this case, we're going to go to a Pokemon server, and that server is going to return some data back to us using the Ajax, and then back to the HTML so we can display it on screen. And then usually from there, once it gets displayed on screen, we extrapolate it and do some things with it. So you guys will kind of see how that works in a second here. So go back to your Play Ionic. And inside of here, what we're going to do is, I'm trying to think if I want to use, first of all, I do want a symbol in here. I wonder if I can go Xbox. No, there's no Xbox symbol. Hold on. I want some sort of an icon in here. You guys should probably have one too. It's nice to have an icon at the top of your header just because it like gives your app like a little bit of character. Pick any app you want, but I'm gonna go with. Oh man, I totally saw an Xbox One like a minute ago when I was scrolling through. Here's an Xbox One. So I'm gonna go with Ion Xbox. A little bit of copyright infringement, but never hurt anyone. So you put an I in here, which stands for icon, class equals, and then just go ahead and paste in whatever your icon is. And I'm just going to give a space right there. So the Xbox Pokemon app, it's ridiculous, but cool at the same time. So what we're going to do now is I want to add in some sort of a selector, and I think we'll go with just like some sort of an input. So we'll go to forms here, and we want to use, where's like the search bar? Yeah, this one looks nice. So we're going to use this search bar right here, this one, just because it kind of looks clean. So we're going to use that. We're going to copy this, and we're going to go to, I'll close out the icons. We're going to go inside the ion content and paste that in there. And you guys will see that we get like a nice search bar to pop up right here for the Pokemon app, which is great. All right, so We're going to come back to the search bar in a second. In the meantime, jump over to your JavaScript. Now we have nothing in there right now, but what you guys are going to do is paste in this Ajax code that I have. If you guys go to my YouTube page and then go to this video, it says Ionic JS app, no Angular, and then nothing after it. Inside the description, I have some code here that you guys just want to copy that code and then go back to Play Ionic and paste it in. And the reason why I'm having you just copy and paste this code is because it's kind of long, and if you guys miss something, like if you spell something wrong, then it'll like ruin it permanently, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to deal with that. So go ahead and take this entire URL here and delete it, and then just replace it with 2 double quotes real quick. And you notice on the side, if you have the console log open, it's saying uncaught reference error, $ is not defined. So we got this $ right here, which in the programming world is the universal sign for jQuery, which is a JavaScript library. So in order to use this thing called Ajax, we're going to have to go and download jQuery and put it inside of the HTML, which basically just means we're going to put a link in here. You don't have to use jQuery, but we're going to, because the other way is kind of difficult. jQuery makes it really easy. So guys, if you go to Google and you Google jQuery CDN, this second link at cdnjs.com is perfect, and you guys want to grab this third link that says jQuery min.js. It stands for jQuery minified.js. And then we're going to go back to our code, and right at the top here, right underneath this script, but it's still inside the header, we're going to write script src for source equals quotes, and then just end the script. And inside those quotes, you're going to paste that code. And you guys will notice we got like a different error this time, this error instead of the $ error, which is good. That's a step up in the world. I'm going to go to the JavaScript. The reason why it's saying is because we're getting an error when we go to make the Ajax request. So we're getting an error when we send out to the internet that we want to request somewhere. The reason why is because we have nothing in the URL right now. So we're not making a request to any server, and we got to make sure we do that right now. So if you guys go to if you go to Google and you just Google Pokey API, so this word pokeapi.co, or just Pokemon API, you're going to get to this website here, and you could just copy this link from here, or you could just copy what I'm pasting in. It doesn't matter either one, but I'm going to copy this right here, which is a link to their API. And I'm going to go back to Play Ionic and paste this into the URL here. Now you'll notice as soon as I do that, I do get something that gets logged down into the console here, which is this object filled with all kinds of stuff. Now we don't really know what this is, and we're really not concerned right now because we're going to add on to this URL a little bit more. We're going to say Pokemon/1, okay? Just like that. And you'll notice the second thing I get, this second array, so this second thing that gets logged into the console, you guys should have it if you have the same code as me. If you open it up, if you guys remember your Pokemon cards, like way back in the day, the first Pokemon was Bulbasaur, right? So what we just did was we called the Pokemon API server, we targeted its API, we asked for version 2, whatever that is, and then we targeted, we were saying basically we're looking for a Pokemon with number 1, so like whoever number 1 Pokemon is, and that happens to be Bulbasaur. And we get this object back. And now if you guys know anything about objects, which you should because we did it in Python and we did it in JavaScript, it's basically just an index of like a bunch of information about something. And if you guys look, we have like, Bulbasaur here. We have Bulbasaur. We got some abilities. I guess he's got some, some abilities here. What's his ability? He's got chlorophyll, whatever that is. That's ridiculous. And we got some other stuff. So we're going to like use this information that we got here to do something. So what we want to do is we're going to make a function now. I'm just kind of doing this on the fly. And we'll call this PokeSearch. PokeSearch, capital S. And we're actually going to copy this entire thing, actually cut it, and paste it inside of our function. So it's not going to run every single time, okay? It's just going to run the one time that we hit the button or something, or we do something to make it submit, okay? Inside the HTML, we don't have a button to submit the search, but that's fine. We're just going to use something called onChange, which we talked about in a previous video, I believe. So inside this search, we're going to say onChange equals quotes, and we're going to say Poke search. So basically, anytime we type something in here, it's going to make a new search call to that Pokemon API. Okay. Now, first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and put an ID on this input here. So ID, we'll call this our search, and we just want to get the value in here. So if I go, basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to make it so if you type in 6 or 150 or whatever it is, it's going to get the number of that Pokemon and return it back to the screen, and then we're going to put some stuff in here. Okay. If you guys haven't noticed already, this video is going to run a little bit long, so just kind of bear with me. This is going to be one of the longer videos, but it's also one of the cooler ones that we're going to be doing. There's lots of stuff we can do with it. So we got this R search now. Now we can go ahead and call that. So we're just going to say var info, or no, not info, var Pokemon, because the Pokemon we're going to call Pokemon is equal to document.get element by ID our search, and then we can say dot value because we want the value of that that search box. Okay, and then inside the URL here, so instead of having number 1, we just want to get rid of that 1, say plus Pokemon. So that way, if they type in 6, it's going to go to the URL, and it's going to, go for this API, and it's just going to put the number 6 onto the end, and it's going to get the sixth Pokemon and return that back to us. I actually don't know who that is. So if I type in 6 now, it should work. I type in 6, and it didn't work for some reason. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so sometimes the API takes a while. Apparently the 6th Pokemon is Charizard, which I guess makes sense because I think it went Bulbasaur, Charmander, then Squirtle or something like that, and then Charizard being the 3rd type of Charmander or whatever. I think you guys get it. So we got this object of stuff for Charizard, okay? And I'm just kind of looking in here at all the different Charizard-y things that we can do. Yeah, so we'll target the name and stuff first. So go back to the HTML, and underneath this list, so it's still inside the Ion content. So right here, we're going to go ahead and type in. Actually, you know what? This is a great opportunity to. Yeah. So the first thing we're going to do, go to your CSS components, and we're going to use this. Where the hell is it? Footer. We're going to grab a footer, and we're going to put that footer in at the bottom, and we'll have the footer display the name of the Pokemon. Okay. So bar footer. I'm going to use this one, and I'll head back to the code, and right underneath the content, remember it has to be underneath the content. The content is everything that's in here, and then the header is outside the content, and the footer is also outside the content, but it's all inside the Ion pane. So we're just going to paste this footer there, and it'll pop up at the bottom for us. And instead of having footer, we're just not going to have anything there, and instead of in the ID here, we're going to say name. That'll be ID of name, okay? And then just because I want to, we're going to change the color at the bottom. You don't have to, but I think it looks nicer to have a red and red, just kind of consistent. I think if you guys remember the show, the Pokedex was red. So just kind of keep the app consistent with the the Pokedex, I guess, keeping it all red. All right, so that's good. And then in here we want to make a div. So right above that Ion content, and the div should have an ID of our body, which is just going to have Basically, anything that we're going to put about the Pokemon is going to go in here. Now, first thing we want to do is get this name done. Let's do that first, just so you guys can kind of see how this works. So we're going to go inside of here, inside this success, so right underneath console log, but above this bind stuff here, we're going to go ahead and type in here document.get element by ID, and we're going to target the name. Document.get element by ID name dot inner HTML is equal to, and we got to put something in there. We got to put some sort of stuff in there. We're going to put the name of the Charizard, or of the Pokemon, which is Charizard. And to do that, we have to use data. So we're getting back this function data value, and then this data is this object. So we can say data.name and get the name. So we can say data.name right here. And if I go ahead and search for something, so let's go with 75. Who's 75? Give it a second because it's making a request call. Come on. Oh, you know what? I think I have to. You have to hit enter on this. So 75 and then hit enter, and I guess it works. Shouldn't do that, but I guess it does. So I guess Graveler, whoever Graveler is our Pokemon. I'm actually gonna go. Who's Graveler? I think that's the ball of gravel or whatever, right? Yeah, he's just a giant rock guy. So that's kind of cool. So we got Graveler down there, and then let's do something else with this. So W3 JS uppercase. I think it's. I just need a 2 uppercase. Yeah, just got to check that. See, even somebody who's like pretty experienced with programming in JavaScript still needs to look stuff up on W3 schools once in a while without just asking the teacher repeatedly for that stuff. I think, okay, I'm pretty sure 150 is Mew or Mewtwo. So I'm going to type in 150, hit enter, and it's going to go out there. Yes, so Mewtwo. So basically with this thing that I just added on here, this 2 uppercase, it's uppercasing the Pokemon name. And in this case, I just asked for Mewtwo and 150, and it came back with Mewtwo, and put that at the bottom. And then now what we're going to do, I'm going to let you guys kind of play around with the rest of it in here, like accessing different stuff, like different information. But the last thing I want to do is I want to put like Mewtwo's picture right here, or whatever Pokemon I got. So to do that, I can go ahead and say document.get element by ID is equal to, and we're going to use that div, so our body dot inner HTML is equal to, and right now I'll just put quotes there, but we're going to want to replace that with something. So right in between these documents, I'm going to say, you could obviously replace this with something much larger than this, but I'm going to say var info is equal to, and I'm going to use these special quotes, these programmer quotes, which is right above the tab, right below the escape button. And in here I'm going to write, let's go with image, and I want the image to have a maximum width of 100%. And then I want the image source to be something which I'll specify in a second. And then that's all I want for the image. So let's see. Let me just go back to the code here. So in order to access the image code, so we're actually going to put like the image of whatever Pokemon it is in there. We got to go from data, which is the object, to sprites. I have to go to the, hold on, the second call, Mewtwo. Here we go. Sprites. All right, this was working for me a second ago. 1 second. Here. So in the meantime, put these in here, put some pluses in here, and then in here we're going to write data.sprites. Nothing's going to come up. You guys will see nothing comes up right now. I'm just going to clear this. I'm going to type in 149, hit enter. Give it a second. Dragonite, so perfect. Sprites, okay, so now sprites opens up. It's just a glitch, don't worry about it. So sprites So we got data dot sprites dot we want like the front default. You notice you can get like front shiny. I don't know what that is, but front default is fine. So sprites dot front underscore default, and that should do it right there. So if I go ahead, I kind of want to see Dragonite, so I'm going to type in 149 and hit enter here. And you guys should see, in a matter of seconds, it pops up with Dragonite, and then any day now the image will show up. Oh, I know why it's not popping up, because I didn't put info in here. So var info, we just did all that code. Make sure you put info there. All right, I really want to see Dragonite. Let's go. 149, enter. Come on now. Show me the Dragonite. Show me the Dragonite. There it is. So pretty cool, right? You know, you actually got you know, the Pokemon picture shows up here. You got the name. I'm really interested. What kind of so shiny, huh? I wonder what shiny looks like. All right, let's change it to shiny. It's this simple to change this stuff. We'll say shiny, and then you know I'll search Dragonite again. Let's just see like the difference in the. I've never played with this API before. This is the first time I've been looking at this, and it's only because I thought you guys would think this is kind of cool. So shiny. I've never seen a green dragon. I don't know, man. Green Dragonite. I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. But you know, basically, you can have different. You know, if you let's try back default. You can have like different pictures come up. Back defaults. We'll try 149 again, just to keep it consistent, so I kind of know like what Pokemon is what here. It's probably going to be the literal back of the Pokemon. Let's just change this back to front real quick, and then I wanna try out some other ones like who was oh I know who obviously Pikachu is 25. Raichu must have been 26, right? Come on now. API is kind of slow, which is just something you got to live with. So you got Raichu there. That's kind of cool. Who was like one? So let's see. So Mew was 151, right? I'm pretty sure. Right, guys? Right? Let's go 151. Okay, so Mew, and then I don't know, like 151 was Mew, so then 152 would have had to have been like what, like Cyndaquil or something? Like the second generation. It was like whoever the second generation Pokemon were. They got it on Pokemon Go now. I don't know. No, who's that one? Not Cyndaquil. That's Chikorita. It actually says it in the console right here. Oh yeah, and it says at the bottom. Duh. So basically, guys, you got like a starter of a Pokemon app. This could be your final app if you want it to be, but you're gonna have to do some more things. Each one of these objects that's coming back has like a ton of other stuff in here. It's got like the height of the Pokemon, the ID, like what number it is, obviously the name. It's got different pictures, like it's got more pictures in here. It's got like stats for the Pokemon, like all kinds of different statistics and stuff. It's got species. It's got types, like what kind of type it is. So it's Chikorita is a grass Pokemon, right? So it's got like all kinds of information that it's pulling from this Pokemon database, and you guys could make a kick-ass app with all this stuff. Just displaying it on screen. I mean, and here's like another thing. I think I would guarantee an A+ to a group that made a Pokemon battle game where you pick one Pokemon, you pick a second Pokemon, and then they like battle it out. You could easily code that in the JavaScript. I don't think it would even be that tough. So yeah. All right. So I think you guys will have a lot of fun with this one. There are some more APIs that I was looking at on Reddit. So if you guys just kind of look at these real quick, maybe pause the video and just look at the names. Like there's a Star Wars one, Marvel, Riot Games for those of you guys who played like League of Legends, NASA, YouTube. What else was there? There was something, SoundCloud. There's like Firebase, so you could develop your own API. I could show you guys that. So there's all kinds of stuff that you guys could use APIs for and build an app with. And if you guys have an interest in any one of them, just let me know and I'll make a video showing you guys how to get started with building the API for it, and then you can make that into your final project if you want. I totally think this stuff is super cool and something that you guys could have a lot of fun with. So yeah, definitely excited to see what you guys can build with all of it. All right, so unless I'm forgetting anything, that's pretty much the end of this video. You guys don't have to, if you're watching this, I don't think I was requiring it as an assignment. Maybe I just told you guys to watch it or something. But hopefully it was enjoyable to check this out. So I will see you guys later.